Hi everyone, today I am going to talk about the graphical analysis of the relationship between personal consumption spending and disposable personal income. My talk includes disposable personal income, personal consumption spending, and the graphical analysis of the relationship between disposable personal income and personal consumption spending. By the end of this presentation, you will be able to understand the graphical analysis of the relationship between disposable personal income and the personal consumption spending. Disposable personal income equals personal income minus personal income taxes. Disposable personal income is divided into two parts: personal consumption spending and saving. Personal consumption spending is the largest part of disposable personal income. Personal income is the total income that is received by all individuals or households. Personal consumption spending is spending by domestic households on final goods and services currently produced within the domestic economy and abroad, except for purchases of new houses. Note that spending by domestic households on new houses is not included in personal consumption spending. Personal consumption spending is the largest component of GDP. The graphical analysis of the relationship between the disposable personal income as the independent variable and the personal consumption spending as the dependent variable. The relationship between the disposable personal income as the independent variable and the personal consumption spending as the dependent variable is positive. As Y increases, C will increase and vice versa. The relationship between the disposable personal income and the personal consumption spending is represented by a linear consumption function. Therefore, the relationship between the disposable personal income and the personal consumption spending is represented by a straight line. Note that the slope of a linear consumption function is constant at all levels of the disposable personal income. What is the slope of consumption function? The slope of consumption function is marginal propensity to consume, abbreviated as MPC. Hence, MPC is constant at all levels of disposable personal income. When Y increases from 100 to 200, C will increase from 80 to 150. Therefore, the change in Y equals 200 minus 100 equals 100. And the change in C equals 150 minus 80 equals 70. Therefore, MVC equals the change in consumption spending divided by the change in disposable personal income equals 70 divided by 100 equals 0.7. 0.7 means that 70% of the increase in the disposable personal income is spent on goods and services. And when Y increases from 200 to 300, C will increase from 150 to 220. Hence, the change in the disposable personal income equals 300 minus 200 equals 100. And the change in the personal consumption spending equals 220 minus 150 equals 70. Therefore, MBC is going to be equal to 0.7. Since the consumption function is linear, MBC is constant at all levels of the disposable personal income. What is the level of personal consumption spending if the disposable personal income equals 0? When Y equals 0, the total consumption spending equals 10. This part of the total personal consumption spending is known as the autonomous consumption. The autonomous consumption spending is a part of the personal consumption spending when y equals 0. You must remember that the total personal consumption spending equals two parts. The first part is known as the autonomous consumption, plus the second part is known as the induced consumption. When y equals 0, the induced consumption equals 0. Therefore, the total personal consumption spending equals 10, or the total personal consumption spending equals the autonomous consumption spending. When y equals 100, the induced consumption spending equals 70. Therefore, the total personal consumption spending equals 10 plus 70 equals 80. When y equals 200, the induced consumption spending equals 140. Therefore, the total personal consumption spending equals 10 plus 140 equals 150. And when y equals 300, the induced consumption equals 210. Therefore, the total personal consumption spending equals 10 plus 210 equals 220. Thank you so much for watching. Please come back for the next video.